Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our second edition of Inside the Nest for softball for the 2021 season. We're joined once again by 15th-year head coach Dustin Combs. Coach, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing well. We're going to jump right in. You have started your high-risk period. You're in the second section of those 3 weeks of regular practice. You're about a little over a week into that. So you can kind of give us a recap overall of what that first week has been like. I know, obviously, losing your spring season, it's probably been very nice to get out on the field and have a somewhat of a sense of normalcy.
Yeah, first off, the whole fall, I've really been proud of the girls. Their energy and their effort every day, and really their attitudes have just been really fun to be around. So, as I mentioned the last time, we were able to spend the first several weeks working on player development and not feeling rushed to get to that through that part of a very important time, getting them here and getting them acclimated. So this week we've been able to play live, and it was really exciting for them to finally get to see some live pitching instead of Coach Jackson throwing front toss. And real honestly, we were very pleased with the way they performed. Again, the energy's just been really good, and they've been so fun to be around. So we try not to change a lot in this high risk period. We've felt like we've really gotten used to having masks on and being, socially distanced when we can. And our sport really allows for that anyway. So, what we really just have let them do differently is while they're pitchers, we're really struggling with having a mask on the entire time, and catchers. And so, in this period, we've let them get some relief from having the mask on 100% of the time. But, they've been great with just being compliant, and I can't say enough about how their attitudes have been this entire fall.
Great. Well, let's talk a little bit about your outfield. Obviously, we know you lost Lindsey Glenn and Sarah Lewis to graduation. Two people have started majority of their careers out there. Returned Tori Farr, a senior who played primarily in center field. Have a couple others, people like Colby K. Aloha, who has played out there, but not a whole lot of outfielders actually listed on the roster. One of those newcomers is Sabrina Olmo out of California, who I know is a late addition. So tell us a little bit about her and maybe who else might we see out in the outfield this year.
Yeah, Sabrina was the last of the 7 freshmen that we brought in on this recruiting class, and really much different process than in most years. We didn't actually physically see her in person. She comes from a program and from a coach that we've had several girls from out of the Simi Valley, West Hills, California area. And, I've obviously seen video on Sabrina, and the word on her was, the kid can fly in the outfield. She's a triple threat offensively on the left side of the plate. And, she actually was admitted the 1 week prior to move-in date. So, the process was much different, but we got her here, and she's been everything that we expected of her. She's really pretty dynamic in the outfield. Offensively is going to be able to give us a lot of options with her speed and power. And, we really think that she'll compete right away for us. As, we have several returning outfielders. Tori, of course, has, been a mainstay for us. Being a senior, has played both corner outfield positions, but really last year was, our center fielder, and we look to use her there again this year. As you say, Coco has played some outfield. Peyton Toski's played some outfield, or is an outfielder. So there's going to be a few names that get opportunities with the graduation of Lindsey Glenn and Sarah Lewis and Taylor Alarcon, who all played in the outfield. And we feel like, really athletically in every position this year, we feel pretty good about where we're at. And outfield is going to certainly have some speed.
Great. Well, there's 3 other players we'll talk a little bit about. They started very strong last year, even as underclassmen. Kenzie Jones ended up being your best pitcher through those 18 games that you did get to play. And then behind the dish, Lauren Ledbetter and Abby Dubinski coming in after Courtney Beatty, who was a unanimous first team LGLVC selection. That's not easy, but both of them performed very, very well through those first 18 games. Can you talk a little bit about Kenzie, how's she developing this fall, and then that battle behind the plate?
We're so proud of Kenzie, the way she's come in here, and her work ethic is, it's something that all of them are trying to match. I don't know that as in the recruiting process, a lot of coaches looked at her as a potential threat in the circle, and it was evident to me, just the way she competes, and she's got very good command of her pitches. And last year was, the breakout year for her as a sophomore. Kind of got put in that position with kind of being an everyday doubleheader starter, and just really grinds it out, but she's got great stuff too. So when she gets her changeup over, that's a pitch that if she has it working, she's going to have a lot of success. So again, it goes back to her work ethic and kind of her believing in what her ability is. And it helps too, as you mentioned, the two catchers. We have two catchers returning that do a great job handling our pitching staff. And I don't see that either one of them will use any differently. It's nice having two that are very reliable and can both help you defensively and be good for you offensively in the lineup. Last year we were using them, one game per doubleheader, while the other game they were hitting in our lineup. So it's certainly helpful when you can keep those catchers from having to catch every inning of the year, because towards the end of the year, what you see really diminishes their offensive production. And so since they're both so important to us offensively, it's nice being able to, give them some breaks behind the plate and know that we're not giving anything up by whoever we have back there.
Absolutely. So you talked a little about your offense. Let's switch to the defense. That's kind of become a little bit of your guys' niche over the last couple of years. Very good defensively last year as well. In 2019, finished 8th in the nation in all of Division II and, best defensive teams. What is your guys' approach to defense? You got some teams that say, hey, yeah, we're going to work on defense, but ultimately we're just going to outscore you, and that's how we're going to win games. I don't think that's the case necessarily for you guys, considering how well you play on defense. So tell us a little bit about how you guys approach defense.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's an area of the game that I just absolutely love, and I think Coach Jackson, mirrors that as well. And our attention to detail is really great. We use data. We have directional data and hop data, and it helps us put together a really good plan when we're putting a practice plan together. But really the attention to detail and we implemented the high level throwing program several years ago. And in the year 2019 of those, I think we had 33 errors in 50 games and only 7 of those were throwing errors. So, really emphasizing the throwing motion and patterns, and also the importance of handling the ball, and we're going to make mistakes. We're going to make errors. We know that. But the key to, I think, our success defensively is that we spend a lot of time working on it. We know our pitchers feel comfortable throwing to contact and giving us an opportunity to play behind them defensively. And, at last year, I didn't realize where we ended up, as far as where we ranked. But I did look back, and 13 of our 19 errors last year came either in the domes, which we had, I think, 8 games in the domes, or on turf. And, that's what you give up when you don't have that ability to practice on turf every day. You're going to make mistakes with hops and lose. I know we lost a few balls in the dome to the ceiling, just being different. But, I think the other part is our girls buy into the emphasis on the defense and how much we're going to spend. As you said, it's real easy to spend all your time offensively in a practice. That's what they like doing the most. But when you take pride in your defense, as our girls do, I think that the defensive part of practice becomes just as fun for them.
Great. Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to talk a little softball with us, and good luck with the rest of your high-risk period, and we'll catch up with you again once you're done.